Ladies and gentlemen, tonight I want to remind you of something most people forget. Life is not happening to you. It is happening through you. What you see on the outside is only a mirror of what you have already accepted within. Every condition, every event, every relationship has first lived in your imagination before it appeared in your world. So if this moment has reached you, it is no accident. This is your sign. Your desire is not random. It is the whisper of destiny calling you to step into the life that is already yours. And tonight I will show you how to bring it forth. Recognize the power within. My friends, I want you to pause for a moment and realize something that most of humanity has forgotten. You are not a powerless being tossed around by chance, by luck, or by the opinions of others. You are not here to merely survive the days, to simply respond to what life throws at you. You are here as the creative force of your world. And until you recognize the power within you, you will continue to live as if you are at the mercy of everything outside of you. Think of it this way. Every event you have ever lived, every joy and every sorrow has come forth from the inner states you have entertained. You may have thought circumstances caused your feelings, but in truth it is your feelings that gave birth to circumstance. You are the projector, and life is the screen. And if you do not like the picture you are seeing, you must not fight with the screen. You must turn inward and change the film. Now when I say you have power within you, I am not speaking in poetic terms. I am not here to flatter you. I am stating a fact of life. Your imagination, your inner conversations, and the feelings you carry are the architects of your reality. Look around at the room you are sitting in. Every piece of it, from the chair beneath you to the device in your hands, first existed in someone's imagination. Someone dared to conceive it, to hold it in mind, to give it life on the inside long before it appeared in form. And the same law that brought those inventions into being is the law that governs your life this very moment. You might say, but I am just one person. How could I possibly hold such power? Let me answer, you are not just one person. You are a vessel of infinite creative spirit. You carry within you the same life that paints the sunset and guides the stars in their courses. That same life breathes in you, thinks in you, feels in you. And when you awaken to it, you stop living as a victim and start living as a creator. Consider how often you have underestimated yourself. How many times have you said, I can't, or it's too late, or it's impossible. And yet even as those words passed your lips, the greater truth within you remained unchanged. You are limitless. The limits you experience are only the ones you consent to. They are beliefs dressed up as fact. And when you challenge them, when you dare to say, no, I am more than this, you awaken the giant within. This power within you is not accessed by striving harder, by pushing against the world, or by waiting for some lucky break. It is accessed by recognition. The moment you recognize that you are the source, you step into your rightful place. You no longer beg life to be kind. You command life by assuming the state of what you desire. Let me give you an image. Imagine a king who forgets he is king. He wanders the streets as a beggar, asking for crumbs, pleading for mercy, living as though he were powerless. All the while his throne stands empty, his crown gathers dust, and his palace awaits him. What is his tragedy? It is not that he lacks power, but that he has forgotten who he is. So it is with you. You suffer not because you lack ability, but because you have forgotten the authority that was yours from the beginning. To recognize your power is to remember your throne. It is to remember that the thoughts you dwell upon are orders given to the universe. It is to remember that every time you imagine a scene, you set into motion a chain of events that must bring it to pass. And it is to remember that no outer condition, however fixed it may appear, is stronger than the state you occupy within. Some of you may be saying, but I have been trying, and nothing changes. I tell you, it is not effort that makes the difference. It is awareness. You can spend years struggling against life and see no change. And then in one moment of recognition, everything shifts. The instant you awaken to your creative power, the instant you accept that you are not a victim of circumstance, the tide turns, because from that moment you stop fighting shadows and begin shaping reality at its source. So how do you recognize this power? You begin by observing your own inner world. Watch your thoughts. Listen to the words you speak to yourself in the silence of your mind. Feel the moods you carry as you move through the day. These are not idle things. They are the builders of your world. What you consistently imagine, you will meet. What you consistently feel, you will live. What you consistently assume, you will become. And once you see this clearly, once you truly grasp that life is responding to you, a great responsibility falls upon you. You can no longer blame others. You can no longer curse luck. You can no longer say, I had no choice, because you will know that choice was always yours. The power has always been in your hands. Do not fear this responsibility. Rejoice in it, for it means that nothing is outside your reach. It means that no matter what the past has been, no matter what mistakes you have made, no matter what circumstances you stand in today, you can create anew. You are not bound to yesterday's story. You are free, this very moment, to choose again. So tonight I urge you, take a deep breath and claim it. Say to yourself, I am the one who shapes my life. I am not powerless. I am not a victim. I am the source. Let this thought burn so deeply in you that it silences every doubt. And when fear tries to whisper, what if you fail? Answer boldly, what if I succeed? When worry tries to chain you to the past, declare, I am new now. When limitation rises to block your path, rise higher and know it is only a shadow of yesterday's belief. The first step, the most important step, is recognition. Recognize the power within you, and you will never live small again. Recognize the power within you, and you will see your world transform before your very eyes. Recognize the power within you, and you will walk as who you were, always meant to be, the creator of your destiny, the author of your story, the master of your fate. So I leave you with this. Stop waiting for permission. Stop asking for proof. Stop doubting your worth. Stand tall. Claim your throne. The kingdom of your life is waiting, and the key has always been in your hand. Give yourself permission to desire. My beloved friends, let us move deeper into the journey. In the first step, we awaken to the recognition of the power within us. But now in the second step, we must confront something that hides quietly in almost every heart. The fear of our own desires. How many times in your life have you wanted something deeply, passionately, sincerely, and then silenced that desire almost as quickly as it arose? You told yourself it was too much to ask. You convinced yourself it was selfish. You whispered that you were not worthy, not capable, not lucky enough. And so instead of embracing your longing, you buried it. But let me tell you tonight, desire is not your enemy. Desire is your compass. Desire is the voice of life itself calling you into more. It is not there to shame you, nor is it there to tease you. If it is alive in your heart, it is because it is possible for you. The very presence of a dream is evidence of its reality. Think of it. Would you long for something that had no existence? Would your heart ache for a future that could never be? No. The reason you feel that hunger is because somewhere in the unseen that reality already belongs to you. Desire is the bridge between what you see now and what you are meant to live. And yet most of us are afraid to even admit what we want. We fear being judged. We fear disappointment. We fear failure. But in truth, the only failure is to betray your own heart. To silence your desires is to silence life itself within you. Let me ask you tonight, what is it you truly want? Not what you think is realistic. Not what you think you can get. Not what others told you was acceptable. But what do you truly, deeply, unapologetically want? That dream, that longing, that secret wish you hardly dare to speak. That is the truth of your being. That is your permission slip to a greater life. Why do so many of us run from our desires? Because we were taught to. We were told from childhood to play small, to be practical, to not ask for too much. We were taught that wanting was greedy, that longing was dangerous, that dreaming was foolish. But what if I told you that those who dare to desire are the ones who change the world? That every breakthrough, every invention, every work of art, every act of greatness began with someone saying, I want more. Desire is not a curse. It is not greed. It is divine. It is sacred. It is the seed of creation planted in your heart. When you deny your desires, you deny the very gift of life. So I urge you, give yourself permission to want. Allow yourself to say, yes, I want love. Yes, I want abundance. Yes, I want freedom. Yes, I want joy. You are not here to suffer quietly. You are not here to shrink and apologize for being alive. You are here to express, to expand, to experience the fullness of life. And here is the great truth. When you dare to desire, the universe conspires with you. Doors open, paths appear, people come into your life at the right time. Opportunities reveal themselves, but it all begins with your consent. Nothing can flow into your life until you first say, I allow myself to want this. Some of you might be saying, but what if I fail? What if I get hurt? What if I reach and it slips away? My answer is simple. What if you succeed? What if you reach and it is placed in your hands? What if the love you want is waiting? The abundance you seek is already yours. The freedom you long for is closer than you think. Will you spend your life avoiding pain and miss the glory that could have been yours? The courage to desire is the courage to live. Without it you drift, you wander, you settle, and settling is the slow death of the spirit. You are not here to settle, you are here to soar. Now let me make something clear. Giving yourself permission to desire does not mean you must explain your desires to anyone else. You do not owe an explanation to your parents, your friends, your partner, or society. Your desires are yours alone. They are between you and life itself. Others may not understand, and that is fine. Their understanding is not required. What matters is that you honor the truth within yourself. When you give yourself permission to desire, you ignite a fire. That fire is not only for you, it lights the way for others. Have you not noticed that when one person dares to live their dream, others are inspired to do the same? Your courage gives others courage. Your permission gives others permission. So do not hide what you want. Do not belittle it. Do not disguise it as something smaller so that others will accept it. Say it boldly. This is what I want and I am worthy of it. For you are worthy, whether you believe it yet or not. Your worth is not measured by your past, your mistakes, or the opinions of others. Your worth is intrinsic. It was given the moment you were born, and because you are worthy, your desires are holy. So tonight I invite you to do something radical. Sit with yourself and name what you want. Write it, speak it, imagine it, claim it. Even if it feels impossible, even if it feels far away, even if it feels too big, dare to admit it, because the moment you admit it, you unlock the door to it. Desire is the first step toward creation. Permission is the key that turns the lock. Without it, you remain outside the life you long for. With it, you enter the path of fulfillment. Remember this: what you desire desires you. What you seek is seeking you. The dream in your heart is not chasing you. It is calling you. Will you answer? The world does not need another person hiding in fear. The world does not need another soul apologizing for existing. The world needs you, fully alive, fully awake, fully unashamed of your deepest desires. So give yourself permission right now, in this very moment. Say it with me in your heart. I allow myself to want. I allow myself to dream. I allow myself to receive. And as you do, feel the chains fall away. Feel the old lies dissolve. Feel the smallness break. You are no longer confined by the past. You are no longer trapped by the opinions of others. You are free to step boldly into the life that calls you. This, my friends, is the second step to give yourself permission to desire, to claim what you truly want, to stop hiding from your own heart, because the heart never lies. And when you honor it, life will honor you in return. So tonight, let your desires rise. Let them live. Let them breathe. And let them lead you to the greatness that has always been waiting for you. Enter the end. My friends, we have already taken 2 great strides forward. First, we recognize the immeasurable power within ourselves. Then we gave ourselves permission to desire without shame, without apology, without fear. But tonight we step into something far more daring, far more transformative. We learn to enter the end. What do I mean by this? To enter the end is to live in the reality of your wish fulfilled. To walk in the world as though your dream were already accomplished. It is to shift your inner stance from waiting and hoping to knowing and being. Most people spend their lives living in the middle, forever looking at what they want as though it were far away, forever saying, someday if I'm lucky it will come to me. They place their dream at the horizon and chase it endlessly, never realizing that the horizon is an illusion. It recedes as you run toward it. But the secret of life is this: the dream does not come when you chase it. The dream comes when you embody it, when you step into the feeling of the end. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine that what you want most is already yours. Not in the future, not one day. Now, see yourself there. Hear the voices that congratulate you. Feel the joy of accomplishment in your chest. Smell the air of that new life. Walk through it in your imagination, as though you were walking through your own home. This, my friends, is entering the end. When you enter the end, you no longer ask, when will it happen? You no longer cry, How will it come? You no longer beg life for signs. Instead, you live as though it has already unfolded. And the world must catch up to your inner reality. The world is a mirror, and the mirror cannot reflect what you have not already assumed to be true. If you stand before the mirror frowning, you cannot demand that the reflection smile first. You must smile, and then the reflection changes. So it is with your desires. You must be in the state of the wish fulfilled, and then the world reflects it back to you. But here is where many falter. They say, I will feel successful when I have the money. I will feel loved when I find the partner. I will feel free when the circumstances change. And so they wait and they wait and they wait because they do not understand that it is backward. You do not wait for the world to change so you can feel different. You feel different first, and then the world must change. To enter the end is to take the crown before you see the throne. It is to wear the wedding ring before the ceremony. It is to live as the healed before the body confirms it. It is to sing the song of victory before the battle is fought. Now some of you may think, isn't this pretending? Isn't this delusion? No, my friends, this is faith. This is creation. This is the law of life itself. Every achievement in history has first lived in the unseen before it lived in the seen. Every building first existed in the mind of an architect. Every invention first existed in the imagination of an innovator. Every transformation first existed in the conviction of one who dared to believe. You must understand, when you enter the end, you are not lying to yourself. You are aligning yourself. You are aligning with the reality that is waiting for you to claim it. The world is not fixed. Reality is fluid. And the moment you inhabit a new state within, the world must bend to that state without. Consider a simple example. Imagine an actor on stage. To play the role, he must fully enter it. He must feel the emotions of the character, walk in the gestures of the character, think the thoughts of the character. For those moments on stage, he is not pretending. He is, and the audience responds to the reality he has entered. In the same way, you must enter the end of your desire. Play the role until it is no longer a role but your natural state. Walk as the one who already has. Speak as the one who already is. Think as the one who already lives in the fulfilled dream. And soon, what began in imagination becomes flesh and bone. Do not concern yourself with the middle. The middle is not your responsibility. How it comes, through whom it comes, in what sequence it comes, that is not your work. Your only work is to inhabit the end, to persist in the feeling that it is already so. But persistence is key. One night of imagining is not enough. One fleeting moment of belief is not enough. You must return again and again to the end, until it feels more real than the present moment. You must let it saturate your mind, flood your emotions, and steady your The more you dwell in the end, the faster the world rearranges itself to mirror it. Some of you may say, but isn't it difficult to feel something that doesn't exist yet? I tell you, it is not only possible, it is natural. Do you not worry about things that haven't happened? Do you not feel fear for events that may never come? If you can feel fear for an unreal future, can you not also feel joy for a fulfilled one? If you can live in dread of what is not yet, you can live in faith of what is already yours. It takes no more effort to imagine joy than to imagine sorrow. It takes no more effort to assume success than to assume failure. The only difference is where you choose to place your attention. So tonight I challenge you, stop living in the middle. Stop saying someday maybe. Stop waiting for proof before you believe. Step into the end right now. If it is wealth you seek, see yourself wealthy. Do not think of wealth. Think from it. Walk into the store in your mind as though you could buy whatever you pleased. Sit in the home you dream of as though it already shelters you. Feel the relief, the freedom, the gratitude of abundance already possessed. If it is love you seek, do not merely wish for a partner. Be the beloved already. Feel the warmth of companionship. Hear the laughter shared at the dinner table. Rest in the arms of love in your imagination, until it is so real you cannot deny it. If it is healing you desire, see yourself whole. Feel the vitality of a body restored. Move with the energy of health. Walk with the freedom of strength. Assume it, and let the cells of your body catch up to the vision you hold. Whatever your desire, the secret is the same. Enter the end. Take your mind there, and let your heart dwell there. And when doubts arise, and they will, do not argue with them. Do not fight them. Simply return to the end. When the world shows you contradiction, and it will, do not panic. Do not give in. Simply return to the end. For the end, once assumed, becomes inevitable. Hear me clearly. The end contains within it the power to fulfill itself. You do not need to figure out the steps. The seed knows how to grow into the tree. The dream knows how to unfold into reality. Your task is only to plant it firmly within, to water it with feeling, and to protect it with persistence. So tonight let us enter the end together. Whatever it is you long for, see it now, feel it now, declare it now, and know beyond all shadow of doubt that as you do, the world is already moving, already shifting, already bending to deliver it into your hands. This, my friends, is the third step. And once you learn it, once you make it your way of life, you will never again be trapped by waiting, or hoping, or longing. You will live in the joy of already having, and the world will rise to meet your conviction. Enter the end, and you enter freedom. Enter the end, and you enter destiny. Enter the end, and you enter the life that was always waiting for you. Board 4. Make imagination your dwelling place. My dear friends, we have walked together through 3 powerful steps. We have recognized the limitless power within us. We have given ourselves permission to desire without fear or apology. We have entered the end, living in the joy of already having, and now we come to the heart of it all. To make imagination your dwelling place. What do I mean by this? I mean that imagination is not something you visit once in a while, like a traveler passing through a foreign land. Imagination must become your home. It must be the ground you stand on, the air you breathe, the place where your soul rests. Most people use imagination unconsciously, and they use it against themselves. They imagine fear, and it becomes their reality. They imagine sickness, and their bodies respond. They imagine lack, and their lives reflect it. Without realizing it, they live in the imagination of their worries, and so their worries take form. But tonight, I tell you, your imagination is the workshop of creation. It is the sacred ground where the invisible becomes visible, where the unseen takes on shape and substance. If you would change your life, you must learn to live there, not as a guest, but as a resident. Let me paint the picture. Imagine a sculptor standing before a block of stone. To the untrained eye, it is only a lump, cold and formless. But in the mind of the sculptor, the masterpiece is already alive. He sees the figure before he chisels it. He feels its presence before he reveals it. The stone simply yields to the vision he already carries within. So it is with you. Your imagination is the chisel. Your desires are the masterpiece waiting to be revealed. The outer world may look like formless stone, but if you persist in the image within, life itself will carve it out for you. Now, some of you may ask, but how do I live in imagination when the world around me shouts the opposite? The answer is persistence. To dwell in imagination is to return again and again to the inner vision, no matter what the outer world says. It is to choose the inner picture over the outer circumstance. It is to say, though I see lack, I imagine abundance. Though I see loneliness, I imagine love. Though I see sickness, I imagine health. You may be tempted to measure your progress by what your eyes see, but the true progress is measured by how faithfully you return to the inner world. For the inner always precedes the outer. If you persist within, the outer must conform. Think of a seed buried in the soil. To the eye, there is no evidence of life. The ground looks empty, silent, unchanged. But within, the seed is bursting. Roots are forming. Life is stirring. Only those who trust the unseen persist in watering it. And in time, the evidence appears. So it is with imagination. You may see nothing at first, but if you dwell there faithfully, life will break through the surface. I want you to hear this. Imagination is not daydreaming. It is not idle fantasy. It is the creative act of life itself. What you imagine with feeling is as real as any fact before your eyes. And the moment you accept it as true within, it begins to harden into reality without. The tragedy is that most people use imagination destructively. They rehearse arguments in their minds. They play out scenarios of failure. They relive the pains of the past. And then they wonder why their lives are filled with conflict, defeat, and sorrow. They do not realize they are planting weeds in the garden of imagination. And those weeds are choking out the harvest of their desires. But you, if you will make imagination your dwelling place, you will never again be at the mercy of the outer world. You will live above it, shaping it, directing it, commanding it. The world will cease to be a dictator and will become your servant. So how do we make imagination our home? First, we practice it deliberately. Each day, set aside time to enter the scene of your fulfilled desire. Do it not as a chore, but as a joy. Enter that place as you would enter the home of a dear friend, familiar and welcoming. Feel it so vividly that you lose yourself in it. Let it be more real than the room around you. Second, carry it with you throughout the day. When doubt whispers, return to your vision. When fear knocks, answer with the inner picture. When the world contradicts you, smile, for you know the truth is already established within. Live as though imagination were more real than fact, because it. Third, protect your imagination as you would protect your home. Do not let every wandering thought or negative image trespass. Guard the door of your mind. Invite in only those thoughts that serve your vision. If you catch yourself imagining defeat, stop and replace it with victory. If you find yourself picturing lack, stop and replace it with abundance. You are the gatekeeper of your imagination. Do not surrender that power. And most of all, use the sacred hours before sleep. For in that drowsy state your imagination is most fertile, most impressionable, most powerful. As you drift into slumber, imagine your wish fulfilled. See it, feel it, live it. Let it be the last thought you carry into the night, and it will plant itself deep in the soil of the subconscious. From there it will grow, without effort, without struggle, until it bears fruit in your waking life. This is why I say, make imagination your dwelling place. Do not visit it once and leave. Do not use it only when desperate. Live there, walk there, sleep there, and soon you will wake to find that the dream has stepped out of imagination and into reality. But let me warn you of this. The world will try to pull you back. It will shout, be realistic. It will wave facts in your face. It will laugh at your inner vision. But remember, every realistic thing in the world today was once unrealistic. Every fact began as fiction. Every reality began as imagination. Those who mocked the dreamers now live in the world. Those dreamers created. So do not bend to the world. Let the world bend to you. Hold your vision with the quiet confidence of one who knows it is already done. Dwell in it until it becomes natural, until it feels inevitable, until you cannot remember a time when it was not yours. And when at last it appears in the outer world, and it will, you will smile, for you will recognize it not as a miracle, but as the natural outpouring of the imagination. You made your home. So tonight I ask you, where do you live? Do you live in fear and worry and lack? Or will you live in imagination, in joy and fulfillment? The choice is yours, and the choice you make will shape your destiny. Make imagination your dwelling place, and you will never again be homeless in this world. For wherever you are, whatever you face, you will always carry within you the house of your fulfilled dreams. This is the fourth step, and once you master it, the outer world becomes your canvas, and imagination your brush. Paint boldly, my friends, for life is waiting to become the masterpiece you dare to imagine. 5. Feel. Don't just think. My friends, tonight we arrive at a crucial turning point. We have recognized the power within us. We have given ourselves permission to desire. We have learned to enter the end. We have chosen imagination as our dwelling place. But now comes the lifeblood of it all, the force that electrifies the dream, that lifts imagination from shadow into substance, feeling. Thinking alone is not enough. Reason alone cannot create. Logic alone cannot transform your life. Thought is like the blueprint, but feeling is the builder. Thought sketches the plan, but feeling lays the bricks. You may think of abundance, think of love, think in health 1,000 times, but if you do not feel it, it will remain a concept, a picture without breath, a song without sound. Let us be clear. Your life does not follow what you think. Your life follows what you feel. You may think you are successful, but if you feel small, you will shrink before opportunities. You may think you are loved, but if you feel unworthy, you will push love away. You may think of freedom, but if you feel trapped, life will echo that prison back to you. The secret, then, is not merely to think about your desire, but to feel the reality of it so deeply that it becomes your inner state of being. For your outer world is nothing more than the reflection of your inner state. Let me give you an image. A radio tower broadcasting signals. The world is the receiver tuning into whatever frequency you are sending. Your thoughts are like words, but your feelings are the frequency itself. You may think the words, I am rich, but if you feel poor, the frequency you send is poverty. And that is what the world reflects. You may think the words, I am loved, but if you feel lonely, the frequency you send is loneliness. And that is what the world echoes back. So you must learn to feel, to generate the emotion of the end, to let it pulse through your veins until it becomes the only truth you know. How do we do this? We begin by quieting the mind, for the mind will argue, the mind will present facts, doubts, objections. The mind will say, look at your bank account, look at your failures, look at your past, and if you listen to it, you will sink back into the old state. But if you silence the mind and drop into the heart, you will find a different language, the language of feeling. Close your eyes, breathe, and instead of thinking about what you want, feel it. If it is wealth you desire, do not calculate numbers. Feel the freedom of never worrying again. Feel the joy of generosity, the ease of choice, the comfort of security. Let your body relax into the sensation of abundance. If it is love you desire, do not merely picture a face. Feel the warmth of companionship. Feel the joy of being chosen. Feel the laughter echoing in shared moments. Let your chest expand with the sweetness of being cherished. If it is health you desire, do not merely imagine test results. Feel the lightness of a strong body. Feel the energy coursing through you. Feel the exhilaration of movement, the joy of wholeness, the relief of being well. And once you feel it, hold it. Let it sink in. Let it saturate your being until it becomes natural, until it feels inevitable, until it feels as though it has always been yours. Do not be fooled by appearances. The world may still look the same, but the feeling is the true cause. The world is only the delayed reflection of yesterday's feeling. If you sustain the new feeling today, tomorrow must mirror it. But here is where persistence is vital. Most people try for a moment, feel for a minute, and then let the old emotions drag them back. They feel abundance for 5 minutes in meditation, then spend the rest of the day feeling lack. They feel love for a few moments before sleep, then wake and feel lonely all day. And then they wonder why nothing changes. You cannot plant the seed of joy and then water it with sorrow. You cannot sow the feeling of abundance and then drown it with fear. You must persist. You must return again and again to the feeling, no matter how many times the old state tries to reclaim you. The beautiful truth is this: feeling is not hard. You have been doing it all your life. You already know how to feel fear before anything has happened. You already know how to feel anxious about events that may never come. You already know how to feel regret about the past, long after it is gone. If you can generate those feelings from nothing, can you not also generate joy, gratitude, love, abundance before they appear? You are already a master of feeling. Now you must choose to master it consciously. Let us not underestimate gratitude here. Gratitude is the highest gateway into feeling. When you give thanks, not after you receive, but before, when you give thanks for the dream as though it were already fulfilled, you unlock the power of faith. Gratitude lifts you into alignment with the fulfilled state. It says, I already have it, I already am it, I already live it, and life responds to that declaration. So train yourself in gratitude. Each day give thanks for the unseen as though it were already seen. Give thanks for the love you have not yet touched. Give thanks for the wealth you have not yet counted. Give thanks for the health you have not yet measured. For in truth, by feeling it now, you already possess it. And when doubt comes, and it will, do not fight it. Do not wrestle with it. Simply shift back into feeling. Let the body remind the mind. Let the heart lead the head. Feeling is stronger than thought. Feeling overrides logic. Feeling is the language creation understands. Do not wait for circumstances to give you permission to feel. Do not say, I will be happy when it arrives. Be happy and it will arrive. Do not say, I will feel loved when they show up. Feel loved, and they will show up. Do not say, I will feel secure when I see the evidence. Feel secure, and the evidence will come. This is the great paradox of life. The outer follows the inner, and the inner is governed by feeling. So tonight I ask you to practice. Not tomorrow, not next week, now. Choose one desire in your heart. Close your eyes, enter the end of it, and then instead of merely seeing it, feel it. Let the joy of it fill you. Let the relief of it wash over you. Let the gratitude of it lift you. Breathe it in until your whole body vibrates with the reality of it. This is the work. This is the secret. This is the step that transforms imagination into manifestation. Remember this always. You do not attract what you think. You attract what you feel. You do not become what you analyze. You become what you embody. You do not live by logic. You live by vibration. So make the choice tonight. No more empty thoughts. No more hollow affirmations. No more waiting for proof. From this day forward, you will feel your dream into being. And when you do, When you live in the sustained feeling of the wish fulfilled, the world will rise to meet you in ways you could never predict. Doors will open where there were no doors. Paths will appear where there were no paths. People will come to help you. Opportunities will unfold before you, and circumstances will shift like pieces on a board, all in response to the frequency you carry. For life does not resist a heart that has already claimed its desire and feeling. Life bends to it. Life honors it. Life obeys it. So my friends, let this step ring in your soul. Feel, don't just think, for thought is the spark, but feeling is the flame. Thought is the seed, but feeling is the soil, the water, the sun. Thought begins the journey, but feeling carries it to the end. Master this, and nothing will be withheld from you. Sing. It's done. Full motivational speech. My friends, tonight we step into the heart of transformation. We have seen the power of imagination. We have chosen to desire boldly. We have learned to dwell in the end. We have embraced feeling as the language of creation. But now you are asked to cross a threshold that separates wishful thinking from true faith. And that threshold is assumption. To assume is to claim the unseen as if it were already seen. To assume is to walk with certainty where the world sees no evidence. To assume is to carry yourself as though the outcome has already unfolded, even while appearances argue against it. Let us be clear, assumption is not pretending. It is not playing games with yourself. It is not reciting empty words. Assumption is conviction. Assumption is ownership. Assumption is the silent inner knowing that it is done. Think of it this way. A seed once planted in the ground is unseen, but you do not doubt it. You water it. You tend to it. You trust that life is working invisibly beneath the soil. You do not dig it up every morning to check whether it has sprouted. You assume it is growing because the nature of the seed is to grow. So it is with your desires. Once you have planted them in imagination and feeling, your only task is to assume they're unfolding. Do not keep looking for proof. Do not keep checking the soil of circumstance. Do not anxiously demand signs. Simply assume that life in its perfect timing and order is bringing forth the fruit. Here lies the greatest stumbling block for many. They waver. They declare their desire fulfilled in the stillness of meditation. But the moment they rise and face the outer world, they let doubt creep in. They look at their empty bank account and say, perhaps it isn't working. They look at their solitude and say, perhaps love isn't coming. They look at their frail body and say, perhaps healing is impossible. But to assume is to refuse the testimony of the senses. To assume is to remain unmoved by appearances. To assume is to know that the seed is alive beneath the surface, even when the soil looks barren. You must learn to live in the world but not be ruled by it. To see the facts but not surrender to them. To acknowledge the evidence but not be enslaved by it. For facts are not final. Appearances are not ultimate. They are but echoes of past state. And if you persist in assumption, those facts must bow to the new state you have chosen. Now some of you may ask, how do I assume? How do I hold to the conviction when the world seems to shout otherwise? The answer is simple but not always easy. You act from the air. You speak, move, and carry yourself as though the result were already yours. If abundance is your desire, do not act from lack. Do not cling. Do not beg. Do not shrink. Stand tall. Breathe easy. Walk as one who knows they are provided. Let generosity guide you, for the wealthy spirit does not grasp. If love is your desire, do not act from loneliness. Do not chase. Do not plead. Do not despair. Live as one who is already cherished. Smile as one who is adored. Move through the world with the dignity of one who knows they are chosen. If health is your desire, do not act from weakness. Do not claim sickness with every word. Do not magnify frailty. Instead, carry yourself with strength. Move with gratitude for each step. Speak as one who is whole. Live as one who has already overcome. This is assumption in practice, not a forced act, but a natural outflow of conviction. Now let me speak of something subtle but vital. Assumption is not strained effort. It is not about forcing yourself to believe. It is about surrendering into knowing. Think of an actor on stage. When they assume a role, they do not merely recite lines. They become the character. They embody it. They live it until the audience forgets it is acting at all. In the same way, assumption is the art of embodying your desire so fully that you forget you were ever without it. You rise in the morning already clothed in it. You walk through the day already breathing it. You lay down at night already resting in it. And here is the wonder: when you live in this state of assumption, life bends to your conviction. Circumstances, people, events, they rearrange themselves with uncanny precision to match the state you persist in. You will find yourself in the right place at the right time. Doors you never noticed will swing open. Connections you never imagined will appear, not because you forced them, but because your assumption commanded them. Some may call this faith. Others may call it confidence. I call it the law of life. For life does not argue with conviction. Life responds to it. Life mirrors it. Life obeys it. But understand this. Assumption requires persistence. The world will test you. Appearances will tempt you. Old patterns will whisper, it isn't working. And in those moments you must stand firm. You must return to the feeling of the end and declare again, it is done. Do not measure time. Do not demand speed. Seeds grow in their own season. The oak does not rush to become. The rose does not force itself open. All unfolds in perfect order. Your only task is to persist in assumption until the harvest is inevitable. And let me tell you a truth that may startle you. When you assume your desire fulfilled, you shift timelines. You step into the version of life where that reality is already true. You do not chase it. You merge with it. You do not run after it. You attract it by being it. This is the essence of assumption. Be it until you see it. So tonight I challenge you. Choose one desire, not all at once. Not scattered and divided. Choose one, and for the next 7 days live as though it were already yours. Walk with the poise of it. Speak with the confidence of it. Think with the gratitude of it. Sleep with the peace of it. And watch as the world slowly or swiftly begins to rearrange itself in your favor. Watch as coincidences multiply. Watch as signs appear. Watch as the invisible becomes visible, not because you strained, but because you assumed. Remember this always. The world does not give to the one who wishes. The world does not yield to the one who waits. The world bends to the one who assumes. Assumption is not arrogance. It is not pride. It is the humble recognition that what you desire already exists within, and that by embodying it, you call it forth. So my friends, let this step be written on your hearts. Assume it's done, not tomorrow, not someday, not when the evidence comes, but now. For when you assume it now, the evidence must come. This is the law. This is the way. This is the key that unlocks the door between dreaming and living. Step into assumption, and life will meet you there. 7. Live in the end, daily. My friends, tonight I invite you into the discipline of living in the end. Not once, not occasionally, not only when you are feeling strong, but daily. For this is the rhythm that transforms imagination into fact. This is the practice that makes the invisible tangible, the unseen undeniable. You see, many touch the end for a fleeting moment. They close their eyes, they feel the wish fulfilled, they taste its sweetness, and for that instant they dwell in paradise. But then they rise from their chair, they step back into the world of appearances, and they abandon the state they had embraced. They return to doubt, to complaint, to worry, and then wonder why their desire delays. Living in the end is not a momentary act. It is not a short meditation or a single night's dream. It is a continual state of being. It is choosing day after day to inhabit the reality of your wish fulfilled until the world has no choice but to reflect it. Ask yourself this: if it were already true, if the thing you seek were already yours, how would you live today? How would you speak? How would you walk? How would you carry yourself? That is the standard. That is the measure. And that is the way you must live. Not one day, not someday, but every day. To live in the end daily is to anchor your mind in the world you've chosen, not the world that was given. It is to reject the tyranny of appearances and to embrace the sovereignty of imagination. It is to say with every breath, I know who I am. I know what is mine. I know where I dwell. This is not about denial of present facts. It is about supremacy of inner truth. You do not deny that the soil looks bare. You simply know the seed has already taken root. You do not deny that the night is dark. You simply know the dawn is inevitable. The outer world is always catching up to the inner state. If you live in the end daily, the outer must conform. It cannot resist. It has no will of its own. It is but a shadow. And the inner state is the substance. Now hear me clearly. Living in the end daily is not drudgery. It is not struggle. It is not pretending with strained effort. It is joy. It is delight. It is the quiet celebration of already having. When you taste the fruit of your desire in imagination, you cannot help but smile. You cannot help but walk lighter. You cannot help but radiate the peace of one who knows. That radiance is power. That joy is magnetic. That certainty draws all things into alignment with your state. But you may say, how can I live in the end when the world shouts the opposite? My answer is this: The same way a king lives in his authority even when surrounded by rebels. He does not relinquish his crown because others defy him. He does not surrender his throne because others doubt him. He knows who he is, and because he knows his dominion stands. So it must be with you. When lack shouts at you, live in abundance. When loneliness whispers, live in love. When weakness mocks, live in strength. When fear trembles, live in courage. Every day is a choice. Will you live in the shadows of appearances, or will you live in the light of fulfillment? Now let us make this practical. I give you 3 practices to make living in the end daily, not just theory, but habit. First practice, morning alignment. Each morning when you open your eyes, before you check the time, before you reach for your phone, before you recall the tasks of the day, pause, breathe, close your eyes again, and for a few sacred moments, feel the wish fulfilled. Step into the scene of your desire complete. Hear the voices congratulating you. See the environment of success. Feel the joy of accomplishment. Begin your day from the end, and you set the rhythm of the hours to come. Second practice, walking in the state. As you move through your day, carry yourself as though your desire were already true. Do not drag yourself in despair. Lift your head. Straighten your shoulders. Breathe deeply. Speak as one who has, not as one who waits. Let gratitude drip from your tongue. When you walk through the marketplace, when you sit at your desk, when you converse with friends, do so as the one who already dwells in fulfillment. Third practice, nightly re-entry. When you lay down to sleep, do not drift off with worries and regret. The last state before sleep is the seed of tomorrow, so choose it wisely. Enter once more into the end. Relive your fulfilled desire as though it were happening now. Hear the words, feel the embrace, taste the sweetness. Sleep in the arms of fulfillment, and the night will carry your state deep into the subconscious, where creation begins. These 3 practices, morning alignment, walking in the state, nightly re-entry, are the pillars of living in the end daily. And let me remind you, this is not about speed. This is not about forcing results. This is about constancy. The world may not shift overnight. The harvest may not appear in a moment. But if you persist in the end daily, the change is inevitable. For repetition builds conviction. Daily dwelling builds identity. And when identity is formed, reality must conform. You are not visiting your desire as a tourist. You are moving in as a resident. You are not peeking into the future as a spectator. You are claiming it now as your home. And what happens when you live in the end daily? Your nervous system calms. Anxiety fades. Desperation dissolves. Because you are no longer waiting. You are living. You are no longer begging. You are possessing. You are no longer hoping. You are knowing. That is freedom. That is peace. That is power. Now I say to you, test this for yourself. For 7 days, commit to living in the end daily. Refuse to slip back into lack, even for an hour, and you will see the world bend. You will see people treat you differently. You will see opportunities arise that mirror your You will feel a strength you thought you lacked, a joy you thought was far away. For when you live in the end daily, life has no choice but to meet you where you dwell. So let this be your resolution. From this day forward, I live in the end, not as an occasional visitor, not as a weekend guest, but as a permanent resident. Say it now within yourself. I live in the end. Let it echo in your heart. Let it ring in your soul. Let it shape your every breath. For the end is the beginning. The end is the secret doorway. The end is where all things are born. Live there daily, and soon the world will call it reality. A persistence beyond appearance. My friends, let us tonight address one of the greatest trials you will ever face on this journey of creation. The test of persistence. For the road of imagination, though paved with certainty, will be lined with appearances that seem to mock you. The world outside will often shout the opposite of the truth you hold within. And in these moments, many surrender. They abandon their dream. They conclude it was fantasy. They return to the prison of circumstance. But I tell you now, appearances are nothing more than echoes of yesterday's belief. They are shadows, not substance. They are records of the state you once occupied, not of the state you have now claimed. Do not be deceived by the persistence of shadows. Do not mistake the residue of old thoughts for the evidence of failure. You are called to persistence. You are called to endurance. You are called to a faith that stands unmoved. No matter how loudly the world contradicts your inner knowing, let me paint it for you. Imagine the farmer who sows his seed in the soil. The next morning he looks upon the field, and it is bare. He looks again on the second day, still bare. On the third, still nothing. Does he curse the soil? Does he dig up the seed to check its progress? Does he abandon the field in despair? No, he knows the law of growth. He knows that what is hidden will one day break forth. He persists in watering, persists in waiting, persists in faith, and in due season the harvest appears. So it is with you. When you have sown the seed of your fulfilled desire in imagination, you must persist beyond appearance, for the harvest may not show itself immediately, but it is inevitable. The challenge is this: appearances will tempt you. They will whisper, "It's not working." They will taunt, "See, nothing has changed." They will laugh, "You are deceiving yourself." But your task is to answer boldly, "I know who I am. I know what I have claimed, and I persist until it appears." For persistence is the bridge between inner creation and outer manifestation. Without it, the seed withers. With it, the seed flourishes. Let me give you this truth. Life is not testing whether your dream is possible. Life is testing whether you are steadfast enough to hold it until it arrives. The delay is not denial. It is refinement. The waiting is not punishment. It is strengthening. Every day that you persist despite appearances, you declare your mastery. You proclaim that imagination is greater than circumstance. You demonstrate that your faith is stronger than sight. Now hear me clearly. Persistence does not mean struggle. It does not mean straining with clenched fists and weary hearts. It means calmly, joyfully, confidently holding to the end you have seen within, refusing to let go, no matter what the senses report. This persistence is a gentle firmness. It is a quiet resolve. It is the inner voice that says, though the outer world still wears yesterday's clothes, I know the new garment is already woven. How then do we practice persistence beyond appearances? I give you 3 ways. First, identify the old echo. When circumstances arise that contradict your desire, recognize them for what they are. Echoes of the old state. Do not wrestle with them. Do not fear them. Simply say, this is yesterday's shadow, not today's truth. By naming them as echoes, you strip them of power. Second, return immediately to the end. When appearances try to drag you back into doubt, do not linger there. Close your eyes, even if only for a moment, and re-enter the scene of fulfillment. See it again, feel it again, touch it again. Let the inner world become more real than the outer. This act of return is persistence in action. Third, celebrate small signs. Often before the great manifestation, there are little cracks in the old reality, small glimmers of the new, a chance conversation, an unexpected opportunity, a sudden shift in mood. Do not dismiss them, celebrate them, for they are proof that the new state is breaking through. Gratitude for small signs fuels persistence for the greater. Now let us address a common struggle. Some say, but I have persisted for weeks, for months, and still I see no change. And I answer, do not measure the unseen by the clock of man, for the unseen moves at the rhythm of eternity. What matters is not the length of persistence, but the quality of it. Are you persisting in fear or in faith? Are you persisting in doubt or in delight? For true persistence is not heavy. It is light. It is not anxious. It is assured. When you persist beyond appearances, something marvelous happens. The world that once mocked you begins to conform to you. Those who doubted begin to marvel. Opportunities that seemed impossible begin to arise. Doors that were locked swing open, and you stand as proof that persistence in the unseen reshapes the scene. I tell you this, the difference between those who manifest their desires and those who abandon them is not talent, not intelligence, not luck. It is persistence. One persists until the end becomes fact. The other quits when the world seems unchanged. And so the one who persists becomes the author of reality, while the one who quits remains a prisoner of circumstance. But you are not a prisoner. You are a creator. You are not bound by appearance. You are sovereign over them. And persistence is your crown. So tonight, resolve this within yourself. I persist. I endure. I stand unshaken. Though the outer world may delay, I know my inner state is truth, and I will hold it until the world conforms. Say it quietly within. I persist beyond appearances. Let it sink into your bones. Let it take root in your soul. For this persistence is the fire that carries you through the night until the dawn appears. And remember this, every appearance that contradicts your dream is not a threat. It is an opportunity. It is the proving ground of your faith. It is the chance to declare once more, I know who I am. I know what is mine. When you persist beyond appearances, you rise above the illusions of time. You step into the eternal truth, where your desire is already complete. You become untouchable, unstoppable, unshakable. So take heart, my friends. Persist with joy, persist with peace, persist with the quiet certainty that what you have claimed within must, by law, unfold without. For persistence beyond appearances is the golden key that unlocks the door between imagination and reality. And when you wield it, the world itself must bow. 9. The power of surrender and allowing, my friends. Tonight I invite you to reflect on one of the deepest and most misunderstood aspects of creation. The power of surrender. For there comes a point in this great journey where you must learn to release your grip, to unclench your fists, and to trust the unseen hand that moves all things into place. You have imagined, you have believed, you have persisted, and now the next step is not more effort, not more struggle, not more trying. It is surrender. What does this surrender mean? It does not mean giving up. It does not mean abandoning your desire. It does not mean resigning to fate. No, surrender is the supreme act of trust. It is the quiet confidence that says, I have planted the seed and I know it will grow. I do not need to dig it up. I do not need to force its sprouting. I allow life to fulfill itself through me. Surrender is the moment when you release the desperate need for control and rest in the certainty that what you have claimed is already yours. It is the state of ease, the state of peace, the state of allowing. Think of the river. The river does not strain to reach the sea. It does not fight against the rocks or resist the bends in its path. It simply flows, knowing that the sea awaits it. And no matter how winding the course, the river always arrives at its destination. So it is with you. When you surrender, you become like the river, flowing, unhurried, certain. You know the sea of fulfillment is yours. But let us speak plainly. Many people fail here because they confuse surrender with passivity. They think allowing means sitting back with indifference. But true surrender is not indifference. It is confidence. It is not apathy. It is assurance. It is not weakness. It is strength. To surrender is to say, I no longer wrestle, I no longer question, I no longer chase, I rest in the knowing that it is done. Now consider this. When you hold too tightly, when you cling with desperation, what are you really declaring? You are declaring that you do not yet believe. You are saying with your energy, it has not yet happened, it is not yet mine. And in doing so, you keep it away. For life mirrors your state, and if your state is one of lack and clinging, then lack and clinging is what you continue to see. But when you surrender, when you release, when you allow, you are declaring, I already have it. I need not chase it. I need not worry over it. It is mine. And I live from that truth. And then life rushes to prove you right. The paradox is this. The moment you stop grasping, the moment you release your anxious grip, is the very moment what you desire finds its way to you. For nothing can enter a closed fist. The hand must be open to receive. Let us take an example. Imagine a person who longs for love. Every day they say, where is it? Why has it not come? Will I ever find it? They scan every room, every street, every interaction with anxious eyes. And yet love does not arrive. Why? Because their state is not one of having love. It is one of searching for love. They are clinging to the absence. And so the absence persists. But now imagine the same person who says, within, love is already mine. I am already chosen. I am already embraced in the fullness of it. And they release the anxious search. They stop chasing, stop begging, stop doubting. Instead, they live in ease. They laugh. They create. They enjoy. And then without strain, without effort, love appears because love has already been accepted in the unseen. This is the power of surrender. I tell you, surrender is not laziness. It is the highest form of action. For it is the action of trust, the action of faith, the action of alignment. The one who surrenders says, I know that what I hold in imagination is already fact. I need not force the outer world, for it must conform to the inner. And what does allowing mean? Allowing means giving permission for life to surprise you. It means letting go of the how and when. It means stepping aside so that the greater intelligence, the unseen hand, can arrange all things for your good. Too often we choke the process with our insistence on how it must unfold. We say, it must happen this way through this person by this time. And when it does not, we despair. But allowing is to release those chains. It is to say, it does not matter how, it does not matter when. I know it is mine. and I am open to the ways it may come. And in that openness, doors you never imagined swing wide, people you never expected appear, circumstances you could not have planned align. Life becomes effortless because you have surrendered the need to dictate every detail. Let me give you 3 ways to practice surrender and allowing. First, release the how and the when. Each time you find yourself asking, but how will it come? But when will it arrive? Remind yourself, that is not my work. My work is to live in the end. The how and the when belong to life. Free yourself from that burden, and peace will return. Second, enter the state of already having. When doubt arises, do not fight it. Instead, close your eyes and re-enter the scene of fulfillment. Feel the relief of completion, the joy of possession, the peace of already having. Then carry that state into your day. This is surrender, not to doubt, but to fulfillment. Third, cultivate gratitude before the manifestation. Nothing aligns you with your desire more than gratitude. To give thanks before you see the harvest is the ultimate act of faith. It is saying, I am so certain, I rejoice even now, and life, hearing your gratitude, hastens to deliver. My friends, surrender is not weakness, it is majesty. It is the recognition that the power that imagined the desire is the same power that fulfills it. You need not strain, you need not beg, you need only rest in the knowing, and allow life to reveal the already accomplished fact. And hear this, surrender brings joy. For when you release the anxious need to control, you become light, you laugh more, you live more, you trust more, and in that joy, you attract the very things you once chased. So tonight, let your soul breathe, release the weight of trying, lay down the burden of control, enter the peace of surrender. Say within yourself, it is done, I allow it to unfold in its perfect way, in its perfect time. This is the 9th step. This is the power of surrender and allow. And when you practice it, you will find that life is not a struggle to be endured, but a song to be sung, a river to be flowed, a gift to be unwrapped. So surrender and watch the miracle unfold. 10. The final and closing step. Living in the fulfillment. My friends, as we come to this final step, I ask you to pause for a moment and reflect on how far we have traveled together. Step by step, we have unfolded the mystery of creation, the art of living from the unseen into the seen. And now the journey brings us here to the grand conclusion, the final step, the closing truth. Living in the fulfillment. For what is the purpose of all this? What is the aim of imagining, believing, persisting, surrendering? It is this, that you may live fully, joyfully, abundantly, as the being who already has, who already is, who already walks in the completed dream. This step is not about waiting for tomorrow. It is not about hoping for a distant day when your desire may appear. It is about living today as the person who has already received. It is about celebrating the fact that the harvest is certain, that the fruit is yours, that the end is accomplished. To live in fulfillment is to step into the joy, the gratitude, the freedom of already being the one you wish to be. And hear me well, the world will always echo your inner state. If you live as one who waits, you will wait. If you live as one who searches, you will search. But if you live as one who has found, then life will confirm it in every detail. Let us speak plainly, because the truth is simple. You are not striving toward your dream. You are living from it. You are not asking for it. You are receiving it. You are not reaching out. You are standing in it. And the more you embrace this inner posture, the more swiftly the outer world conforms. But how do we live in fulfillment? How do we take this from theory into practice? Let me share with you 4 pillars to carry with you beyond this night. First, speak from completion. When you speak, let your words be shaped by the reality of already having. Do not say, I hope it comes. Say, it is mine. Do not speak of lack. Speak of possession. Do not talk about the waiting. Speak about the joy of receiving. For your words carry power, and when they flow from fulfillment, life reflects them back to you. Second, walk in the emotion of arrival. Let your feelings today be the feelings you would have if the dream were visible. Would you walk lighter? Would you smile brighter? Would you laugh louder? Then do it now. Do not wait for the evidence to feel joy. Feel joy and the evidence will appear. Third, celebrate in advance. Every day, find reasons to rejoice, as though the promise is already fulfilled. Give thanks, sing, dance, smile, make celebration a habit, and the world will mirror your celebration with blessings. Gratitude is the proof of faith, and faith always bears fruit. Fourth, serve from abundance. When you live in fulfillment, you no longer fear lack. You give freely, love deeply, act boldly. You bless others because you know you are already blessed. You share because you know there is no end to the supply. And in this giving, you multiply your own abundance. This, my friends, is the way of living in fulfillment. Now let us consider what happens when you do this. Imagine a person who once longed for wealth. In the beginning, they strained, they worried, they questioned, but then they learned to live in fulfillment. They began to walk with the dignity of abundance, to give thanks as though wealth was already theirs, to make choices with the wisdom of one who is not bound by fear. And in time, wealth appeared, not because they chased it, but because they lived from it. Or consider the one who longed for love. For years they searched, doubted, despaired, but then they learned the final step. They began to live as though love surrounded them. They felt cherished. They felt chosen. They felt complete. And soon love came, not as a desperate search, but as the natural reflection of their inner state. This is the closing secret. Life cannot withhold from you what you have already accepted within. When you live in the end lives through you. And I tell you, this is not only about desires, it is about the very way you live each day. Living in fulfillment means you no longer measure yourself by circumstances. You no longer bow to appearances. You no longer let the outer world dictate your inner peace. Instead, you anchor yourself in the unseen truth, and you walk in the freedom of already being complete. There is no greater joy than this, to wake each morning, not in longing, but in fulfillment. To lay your head down each night, not in worry, but in gratitude. To meet each moment, not with doubt, but with certainty. This is the life you are meant to live. And let me give you this final encouragement. The journey is not outside you. The power is not far from you. The fulfillment you seek is not waiting in some distant tomorrow. It is here, within you now. And when you claim it, when you live from it, when you walk in it, the whole world must rearrange itself to reveal it. So tonight, as we close this series of steps, I invite you to make a decision. Decide now that you will no longer wait, no longer question, no longer postpone your joy. Decide that you will live today as the person you have always desired to be. Speak as them, feel as them, act as them, walk as them, celebrate as them, and you will see, sooner than you imagine, that the outer world has no choice but to reflect the inner world you have already embraced. This is the final step. Live in the fulfillment. Not tomorrow, not someday, not when the evidence appears, but now. For when you live now as the one who has, life has no option but to confirm it. And so, my friends, I close with this. You are already complete. You are already fulfilled. You are already standing in the dream. Live it. Celebrate it. Share it. And watch as life unfolds the miracle you have already claimed. Thank you.